Every one of you watching this screen, look out. Because soon, very soon, the most horrifying monster menace ever conceived will be oozing into this theater.
Beware of the Blob. It creeps and leaps and glides and slides across the floor, right through the door and all around the wall. A splotch, a blotch. Be careful of the Blob. Welcome to Morbid Movie Monday, pal. This is your friendly neighborhood master, Chaos, back with you once again. Today, you may have guessed, we are discussing the Blob, specifically the 1958 Blob with the very young Steve McQueen. Why are we talking about this film? Not just because it's an amazing 50s sci-fi classic, but because, point of fact, it's based on a true story.
Dave! Doc Hallen's been killed.
Doc Hallen, what happened?
It's over at his place. You gotta come now.
Oh, wait a minute, Steve. Tell us what happened.
Well, I'm trying to tell you. Now, this thing had killed the doc.
Well, what was it?
Stop with it, kid. But it's kind of like a mass that keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Every one of you watching this screen, look out. Because soon, very soon, the most horrifying monster menace ever conceived will be oozing into this theater. Two teenagers see it first, like a falling star from outer space.
Boy, that was close. Hey, come on. I want to see if I can find it.
An old man finds it, touches it, and this is the shocking result. From then on, there's no stopping the Blob as it spreads from town to town. It's indestructible. It's indescribable. Nothing can stop it.
This town is in danger.
How can it be stopped? Mob hysteria sweeps one city. Before long, the nation, and then the world could fall before the blood-curdling threat of the Blob.
Starring Steve McQueen and a cast of exciting young people.
Let's go all the way back to September 27th, 1950 in Philadelphia, where two veteran police officers, Joe Keenan and John Collins, discovered something just a tad odd. The two officers came upon what was described as a domed disc of quivering jelly. It was about 6 feet in diameter, purple, and filled with strange crystals and giving off a mist. The lavender substance was also described as having the consistency of soap suds. According to both officers, the globby substance seemed to vibrate and move on its own. The officers ended up calling for backup, and two other officers showed up, Officer James Cooper and Officer Joe Cook. So faced with this unknown mass, one of the officers decides to do the most logical thing and put his hand into the thing. He pulled his hand back, and there were little globs of slime or whatever on his hand that eventually evaporated. Of course, it left a kind of odorless residue on his hand that I assume he just sort of washed away when he got home after his wife slapped him for touching the alien slime ball. The lavender glob that they had seen descend from the sky like a parachute eventually evaporated into nothing in front of all four officers. This made national news. This was in the Philadelphia Inquirer, and it spread far and wide. This was very weird. This wasn't your typical UFO sighting. Now, how does this link to the Blob? Well, let me tell you. Fast forward to 1957, and producer Jack Harris was looking for an idea for a movie. He wanted it to be a monster movie, and he wanted it to be in color. So Mr. Harris put his friend Irving H. Milgate on the job and said, quote, "It's gotta be a monster movie. It's gotta be in color instead of black and white. It can't be a cheapy creepy. It's gotta have some substance to it. It's gotta have characters you can believe in. And there's gotta be a unique monster. Never been done before. And the method of killing the monster would have to be something that Grandma could have cooked up on her stove." End quote. Milgate remembered the Philly incident, and the rest is history. Shot in 31 days with a budget of $110,000, The Blob went on to not only become a hit, but a certified cult classic. And to further blow your mind, get this, that incident back in 1950 was not the only time a bizarre alien-like jelly substance was reported. Around the world, reports of what people are calling star jelly are ongoing today, and they do seem to match up with the events of the 1950 sighting of the strange lavender blob. Here, of course, a lot of the slime that is being found, the mysterious globs, are clear or white. Some of them are yellow or a dark green, but, they are close enough in my book. So you tell me, is it an alien virus or some kind of alien monster that has come to Earth to invade us, absorb us, and have its way with us? Or is it some kind of a natural fungus or natural, I don't know, I think one of the theories is that it's frog spawn, that it's, like little frog eggs, and they kind of look like slimy caviar. I think that probably explains some of it, but some of the slime stuff that I've seen, it's like, clumpy and curdled, and it doesn't look like eggs to me. I don't know what it is. I'm not a botanist. I'm not a slime scientist. I'm not any kind of scientist except maybe a female body inspector. But that doesn't apply here. I will say it's very odd, but it's kind of fun to know that the movie The Blob, such a sort of innocuously fun 50s movie, was based on a real incident that almost mimics the opening sequence with the old man getting his hand chomped off. Actually, his whole body gets chomped off, but his hand is the inciting incident. Before we sign off, we haven't checked in with our Grow Your Own Bigfoot. Let's check in with our Sasquatch pal and see how he's sizing up. Well, there's our boy. Bigfoot himself. Definitely looks like a waterlogged turd, but he is considerably bigger. You can tell very much. The water's a little murky. I'm gonna get him out here. Hopefully I don't get infected with whatever the brown stuff is. Give you a better look at him. There he is. I mean, that's a big boy. Look at that. He's the entire size of my hand right now. He's definitely gotten bigger. We're gonna let him grow until October 1st, and I think we'll know what his final size is by then. A whole month in the water should be enough to know. Oh, he's got a big old butt. Boy, that's a big bitch, and I'm happy to have him in my house. FYI, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. My name is Master Chaos, and I want to be your best YouTube buddy. If you subscribe, we get to be pals. How? Well, Master Chaos comes at you daily, so you'll see me tomorrow, but you gotta subscribe. And if you're old here, you're the Blob to my Steve McQueen. Wait, that's not a good thing. You know what I mean. Well, I hope you enjoyed this installment of Morbid Movie Monday. Now, whenever you rewatch that classic film, The Blob, you'll know it was based on a very creepy evening that 4 police officers vouch for. I mean, these are cops. This isn't Joe Bob Joe, with 2 teeth left in his mouth, living in the farms, telling you that this happened. These are police officers, and if you cannot take the word of law enforcement, then honestly, who can you trust, right? I mean, in terms of, being a witness, I mean, that is as good a witness as any in my book. So, 4 police officers say they saw mysterious slime fall from the sky, quiver and, tingle and kind of shimmy around like it was alive and then dissolve into nothingness. Well, I believe them. Because this is the 1950s. And shit like that don't happen normally. Okay, pal, that'll do it for me. I hope you had a wonderful time with me. I had a wonderful time with you. I love talking about old 50s movies. They make me happy. I hope they make you happy as well. And I hope this video has found you very happy, healthy, and well. I wish the best for you. I really do. It's a crazy world out there. We have to look out for each other. And I hope I've given you a moment's peace and some entertainment, because that is ultimately what I'm doing this for. So, Broseph, until we meet again, I wish you a very pleasant good day, good evening, or good night, wherever you are. And remember, your friend the neighborhood Master Chaos remains To be continued.